Hello students, now I will discuss a poem, The Arrow and the Song, written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was born on 27th February 1807 and died on March 24th, 1882. He was an American poet and educator. His original works include the poems Paul Revere's Ride, the Song of Hiawatha and the Evangeline, and he wrote many other poems also. He was one of the fireside poets from New England. Longfellow wrote many lyrical poems, known for his musicality and often presenting stories of mythology and legend. He became the most popular American poet of his day and had success overseas. He has been criticized for imitating European styles and writing poetry that also was too sentimental. Longfellow wrote this poem on the morning of October 16, 1845. The Arrow and the Song was the first published in late 1845. It appeared in the book form in Longfellow's poetry collection titled The Belfry of Bruges and Other Poems, published by John Owen in Cambridge. The Arrow and the Song is a lyrical poem written in form of didactic parable. And the poem goes like this. I shot an arrow into the air. আমি বাতাসে একটা তীর ছুঁড়েছিলাম. I fell to earth, I knew not where. সেটি মাটিতে গিয়ে পড়ল কিন্তু কোথায় পড়ল তা আমি জানতাম না. For so swiftly it flew, the sight, কারণ সেটি এত দ্রুত উড়ে গেছিল আমার দৃষ্টিশক্তির বাইরে. Could not flow in its flight, could not follow it in its flight. তার ওড়ার গতিকে অনুসরণ করতে পারেনি, অর্থাৎ তীরটি চোখের পলকে অদৃশ্য হয়ে গেছিল. This is stanza 1. Here the poet shoots an arrow into the air. It flies so fast and it cannot track it, and it disappears from his sight. In the second stanza, I breathed a song into the air. আমি বাতাসে একটা গান গেয়েছিলাম, গান ছেড়ে দিয়েছিলাম আর কি, ভাসিয়ে দিয়েছিলাম. It fell to earth, I knew not where. সেটি পৃথিবীতে ছড়িয়ে পড়েছিল কিন্তু কোথায় গিয়ে পড়েছিল আমি জানতাম না. For who has sight too keen and strong, কারণ কার দৃষ্টিশক্তি এত ক্ষীণ এবং তীব্র that it can follow the flight of the song, যে তার এই গানটার উড়ে যাওয়া এবং গতিবেগ অনুসরণ করতে পারে. এইটা হচ্ছে সেকেন্ড স্ট্যাঞ্জা. সেকেন্ড স্ট্যাঞ্জা দ্য পোয়েট ব্রিথস আ সং ইন টু দ্য ইয়ার. প্রথম স্ট্যাঞ্জায় একটা তীর ছুঁড়েছিলেন, এবার একটা গান. ইট ড্রিফটস অ্যাওয়ে because human sight is not sharp enough to follow the flight of the music, it does not know where it went. এবং থার্ড স্ট্যাঞ্জা বলছে long afterward in an oak, অনেক দিন পরে একটা গাছের গুঁড়িতে, একটা ওক গাছের গুঁড়িতে, I found the arrow still unbroke. আমি তীরটাকে খুঁজে পেলাম, সেটি তখনও অক্ষত, মানে ভাঙেনি, সেই অবস্থায় সে গাছের গায়ে লেগে আছে. অ্যান্ড দ্য সং ফ্রম দ্য বিগিনিং টু দ্য এন্ড, এবং সেই গানটি একদম প্রথম থেকে শেষ পর্যন্ত I found again in the heart of a friend. আমি আবার খুঁজে পেলাম আমার এক বন্ধুর হৃদয়ের মাঝে. And the third stanza, long afterward he finds the both items completely intact. The physical arrow is still stuck unbroken in the trunk of an oak tree, and the song is found alive and well, resting in the heart of his friend. This is the poem. It is a lyrical poem. It is a short song-like and focuses on the expressing a personal emotion or philosophical reflection rather than telling a long story. That is why it is lyrical. It is also a parable or allegory. It uses a simple literal story, shooting an arrow and singing a song, to teach deeper moral lesson about human action and influence. And it is also didactic. It is intended to teach the reader a life lesson, a lesson of life about how our words and songs and our actions leave lasting impacts on the world even when we cannot see them. It is a short poem consisting of 3 4-line stanzas. Means each stanza consists of a quatrain. It follows a strict ABAB rhyming scheme in each stanza. And it is written in, the poem is written in trochaic tetrameter, meaning each line has 4 stressed beats following the stressed unstressed pattern. This gives it a musical rhythmic quality. It reaches our ear as a music. The theme of the poem is of power and permanence of word. Longfellow emphasizes that nothing we release into the world truly vanishes. Both physical deeds and the spoken words outlive the moment of their creation. The unseen ripple affects the life. There is a distinct gap between the intention and the impact. We cannot always see or control where our words land, but they will inevitably make an impact somewhere. Each and everything has its impacts. The art, here we see a picture of art versus matter. In human connection, the poem explores how different action survives. And the arrow, the material action is arrow endures in the physical objects, the tree, but artistic and emotional expression, the song, survives in the living medium of the human relationship. It is true, anything which has no lifeless things, has an action on lifeless things, and a thing has life, chooses the medium of life. Here it chooses the medium of human heart or relationship. Here the arrow symbolizes the harsh words, anger or aggressive physical action. Hurtful actions leave permanent scars and physical consequences that stays hard and unbroken over time. And the song, it symbolizes kind thoughts, poetry, love or pleasant behavior. The act of kindness and the art creates deep, long-living emotional bonds and stands on the test of time. It is really true. And if we go to the title, the song, the arrow and the song. The title arrow and the song is perfectly justified because it names the poem 2 central symbols, establishes its core structural its core structural engine and encapsulates its moral conclusion. The title immediately introduces the 2 contrasting objects, the drive and the entire narrative. The arrow represents physical, sharp and potential destructive human actions and harsh words. And the song represents emotional, gentle, creative expressions like poetry, kindness, love, relationship, etc. The title acts as a literal map for how the poem is built. In stanza 1, it focuses entirely on the flight of an arrow. In stanza 2, it focuses entirely on the flight of a song. And in stanza 3, brings both elements together, revealing their final resting place. By linking arrow and the song with the word and, Longfellow forces the reader to compare 2 seemingly unrelated things, but they are related craftfully and significantly. The justification of the title is realized in the final stanza, where the reader discovers that both items, despite their differences, shares the exact same fate. They never truly disappears. They both leave a permanent mark on the world. So in conclusion, we can say Longfellow reminds us that nothing we release into the world truly vanishes. Every harsh word is an arrow and every kind of action is a song, both waiting to be found years down the road. Their real question is, what are you throwing in the air today? An arrow leaves a scar, but a song builds a bridge. The arrow leaves a scar, but song builds a bridge. That is the timeless magic of Longfellow's poetry. In the end, the arrow and the song is not just poetry, just about a poetry. It is a mirror to how we live our lives. Our words outlives us, resting either as a scar in an oak or a melody in the heart of a friend. It is a real truth of our life. We have to admit, we have to appreciate, and we have to enjoy this true of life.